Act 2. I couldn't remember for the longest time what the hell Act 2 starts with. Why does she love me? She doesn't love you, Raoul. That was just a scam and a hoax and whatever. Devil Take the Hindmost. I actually saw the bartender switch, which was kind of cool. I knew to be looking out for that, and I liked Devil Take the Hindmost, but what was annoying for me was they changed the lyrics, which sucks if you're listening to the soundtrack because it's one of the songs you can sort of stand and your sister likes it, so she plays it all the time. And then you're watching and the lyrics change and then you're thrown off and you're like, what, these aren't the lyrics? Because I wasn't expecting it, because on the soundtrack it's different. So, I don't know, that was weird. Alright song, whatever, they make the bet. I hate the bet. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody tells Christine she's in the middle of a bet. I think that would have significantly changed the outcome of the show. Concert, Bathing Beauty, hate Bathing Beauty. I wanted to kill myself during that song. It's like so annoying and absolutely inappropriate. Like, for Meg, I can't imagine cute little blonde curls ballerina stripping in front of people at Coney Island. I don't see any reason why the juries would have had to travel with the Phantom over to Coney Island. I'm sure they were quite happy at the Opera House. Anyway, I did actually visit the Opera House. I didn't get to go inside because it was a special day, but yay, I saw it. It's still working, so I don't really think it fell into financial ruin or something after the managers left. I don't know. Bathing Beauty, dressing room for the performance, which was ridiculous because the Phantom comes through a trapdoor and she just like rises up out of the smoke and then he leaves through the door. Really lame. Devil Take the Hindmost Quartet. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would. I like listening to it, but I didn't like the staging of it just because it looks really awkward because Christine's just standing there and then Raoul and the Phantom keep walking up and around her and behind her and singing to each other, and it just looks weird because she's just like standing there very stoically like, I'm getting ready for this. Didn't like it that much. Love Never Dies is a nice, Sierra has a lovely voice, and it's just a boring song. It's repetitive and it's been done before, and unfortunately I had a coughing fit in the middle of this song. I was actually really sick the week we went and saw both the shows, so I had to try and keep coughing during like when people were applauding, except for some reason I couldn't stop coughing during Love Never Dies, so I had to get up and leave and hack my brains out outside of the theater, or outside of the house, so I could not disturb people, but I could still hear it from like outside because it's so loud. It's such a belty song. So she's a great singer. She has a beautiful voice. I just don't think this is the show that showcases her enough because the plot is stupid. And then freaking Christine wins award for worst mom ever because she loses her kid twice in 2 days or 3 days, whatever the timeline is. And Meg is gonna go drown him. And then the ending, which I actually think I prefer parts of the old ending rather than the new reworking, because I don't like the way it plays out where she's trying to tell Gustav that to look in his heart and see that his father is the Phantom, and Gustav just screams no and runs away, and then Christine dies. Like, kind of just, that seemed like it missed the point. I like the old one where she was talking to Gustav and he kind of understood, and then she kind of like falls forward because she's dying, and he's like, no, oh my god, my mom's dying, and he runs away because he's freaked out. That was one change. It makes more sense that Raoul's holding her at the end. I just didn't really like the way it happened after, because he kind of like sends Gustav over to the Phantom, and he just hugs the Phantom, and then it ends. Like, really? Because I really liked the ending before. Of the things I don't like of the show, the ending, I don't like the fact that the ending is the ending, but I kind of like the ending where he's holding Christine and they kiss one last time and she dies in his arms and stuff, but then I didn't really like how he just kind of lays her on the ground and it's like, gets up and starts walking away. But then Gustav comes and hugs him, and then the show ends. But in the original version, he tries to take off his mask, and the Phantom's like, no, and then he takes it off, and then Gustav accepts him. I thought that was like the point of the show, but they took that out, so I didn't really get it. Wasn't a fan of the ending. Overall, I just think if Angela Weber had used his music and maybe parts of the plot for a different show without the characters of Phantom, it would have been better, but because it didn't seem like it just the continuity just wasn't there. Like, Ramin's a great actor and singer, but he's like 10 years younger than John Owen Jones. John Owen Jones just turned 40, and Ramin's like, what, early 30s? So you can just hear the differences in their voices, and it just doesn't make sense for 10 years later, which is actually like 26 years, I think, is the actual difference, because it's 1881 to 1907. Just to hear, like, he wouldn't regress to a younger form of himself. He'd be older, and it just didn't make sense to me. But, yeah, so I was really curious to see the new cast, but I wasn't gonna spend any more money on seeing a show that I knew I wouldn't like, so I'm just listening to recordings on YouTube to get an idea of what the new cast sounds like, and I don't think the cast is ever going to save the show. I am curious to see how it looks, how it turns out in Australia. I've seen some of the costumes and sets, and it looks interesting. I am not a fan of Christine's Love Never Dies dress at all in Australia. I did love it in London. I think it was very elegant, like her. But I'm interested to see how this version pans out, and if Angela Barber is going to throw that director under the bus if it doesn't work out like he did Jack Bryan. I have to say, though, I really do actually like this souvenir brochure. They have a lot of cool things in it, like, I don't know if you can see, but this is like the Notes to Love Never Dies, but it's like transparent, so when you turn it, it's like another picture and you can see through it. Pretty cool. I really like her dress. And what was the other picture part I really liked? Okay, at first, does anybody else think that looks like he's strangling her? Because that's what I thought when I saw it, and I was like, that's weird. I don't think he'd do that, no matter how mad he was. I like this page, where it's got like an old picture of Christine, like he smashed it because he's angry, and old pictures of her, which is cool, because it's like her pictures from the Vegas version. Pretty sweet. Creative. I will say the one thing that Love Never Dies has going for it that it beats Phantom out in is that it has an adorable child in it. The Gustavs are always just really cute, and, you know, their existence is kind of subject to debate on who's the father and whatnot, but I think they're a good part of the show because, you know, everyone likes cute kids. Yep. So that's what I thought about Love Never Dies. I would rather see almost any other show and the original like 10,000 times more than see Love Never Dies again. But, I mean, it wasn't like, it was kind of horrible for me as a adamant anti-sequeler, but I think if people who physically could have gone in with less bias than me, I mean, I tried to see if I would be proven wrong, but in my head I kind of figured I wouldn't be. So if someone went in without previous bias against it, I think they would have thought it was alright. I know some people who have, who I may have been like, asked me if they should see it, and I was like, probably not. And they've gone and they didn't really like it, but I don't know how much they'd known about it before, or how much they'd heard me talking about it. But it was something I had to do while I was in London, and I'm glad I did it. So, you know, got the whole experience, and now I can actually have, apparently, an informed and legitimate opinion, because a lot of people told me that since I hadn't seen the show, I couldn't really judge it. Well, I've seen the show, and I still don't like it. So, that's the bottom line there, is I am of the same opinion that I was before, is that it shouldn't be the sequel to Phantom of the Opera. It's not really a true sequel, because it messes up things, and I don't feel that's the way the characters would go. And the music's nice, but the lyrics, not so great. I think Glenn Slater should stick to movies like Tangled, because he does really well with childish, cutesy songs. There you have it. And that is how I feel about Love Never Dies. I will be back, hopefully, once I talk about I See Phantom in New York City, and get to talk about how awesome Hugh Panera was. See ya!